Imagine you are stepping onto a colossal stage. Bright lights blaze down upon you, and the audience follows your every move. You believe you are improvising, choosing fresh lines for today. Yet the shocking truth is this. Most of the words you speak, the way you move, the way you react, have all been written long before you even realized you were acting. Modern neuroscience and studies of consciousness reveal that humans rarely live in the present moment. Instead of freely creating, your brain operates like a playback machine. Memories, habits, and unconscious scripts etched into the nervous system act as the background music repeating every single day. And astonishingly, according to Dr. Joe Dispenza, 95% of who you are, your behaviors, emotions, beliefs, even your worldview, is nearly fully programmed before the age of 35. Picture the brain as a quantum supercomputer. Every childhood experience, every emotion does not vanish but becomes lines of code buried deep in the subconscious. If, as a child, you were surrounded by fear, scarcity, or the absence of love, those experiences did not remain mere memories. They became default frequencies you now broadcast into the world. And because the quantum field operates through resonance, your present reality is nothing but an extended echo of your past. What does this mean? It means that when you think you are making a new choice, choosing a job, falling in love, reacting in an argument, there is a 95% chance you are simply repeating an old response. You are not choosing, you are reenacting. Emotional habits become invisible scripts. Anger in familiar situations, sadness at failure, doubt when receiving love. Life unfolds as though you are living inside a hologram of your past. But here comes the extraordinary part. Quantum physics proves that nothing is fixed. Particles exist only as probabilities until observed. Humans are no different. The moment you begin observing yourself, recognizing repetitive habits, unveiling unconscious scripts, you change your role. You are no longer a character chained to an old script, but the observer. And the observer has the power to alter the play. The real question isn't, why am I like this? But rather, is this script truly me, or is it just memory replaying itself? The instant you realize you can step out of the role, you touch freedom. And that is the threshold into a new reality. Now imagine holding an old radio in your hand. As you turn the dial, electromagnetic waves instantly tune into a frequency and release a familiar sound. The human brain and heart operate on the same principle. The difference is that instead of music, what you broadcast outward are thoughts and emotions, and the quantum field, the invisible ocean of infinite possibilities, receives, reflects, and synchronizes with those signals. Scientists have shown that every thought is not just an electrical impulse in the brain. It carries energy, a vibrational frequency. When coupled with emotion, the frequency becomes even stronger, clearer. Joy, gratitude, love emit expansive, high-frequency waves. Fear, guilt, and lack radiate narrow, low-frequency waves. Physically, your brain and heart act as biological antennas, continuously sending and receiving signals in constant dialogue with the quantum field around you. This leads to an astonishing truth. You are not merely remembering the past. You are broadcasting the past into the present. Each time you sink into old fear, long-held guilt, or memories of lack, the brain does not distinguish real from imagined. It reactivates the same neural networks, releases the same hormones, convincing the body the memory is happening now. And by repeating this cycle day after day, you unconsciously emit a stable signal, like a radio locked on the same station. The quantum field, responding only to the frequency you emit, can return nothing but experiences that match that signal. This explains why so many, despite their efforts, remain trapped in old loops, not because they lack effort, but because their broadcast remains bound to old emotions and beliefs. They want prosperity, but keep transmitting lack. They long for love, but vibrate on the frequency of fear and doubt. In quantum language, this is called reality anchoring. A repetitive signal prevents new probabilities from collapsing into reality. Instead, your lived experience is magnetized to the old orbit, like a spacecraft unable to escape the gravity of a planet where its anchor lies. Yet here lies the key to freedom. If thoughts and emotions are broadcast signals, you can change the frequency. Instead of replaying guilt, you can practice forgiveness. Instead of recreating fear, you can summon courage. Instead of transmitting lack, you can cultivate gratitude, even for the smallest things. When the signal changes, reality begins to shift, for the quantum field cannot help but respond. Imagine each thought as a musical note, and each emotion as the instrument playing it. You are performing a symphony 24/7, and the universe, with its infinite possibilities, is the concert hall amplifying your melody. If your music is dark, the hall echoes the darkness. But if you dare to play bright, expansive notes, the entire universe will resonate with you, which means in this very moment you can decide, continue broadcasting the past or consciously create a new frequency to unlock the future. Picture yourself standing before an immense black curtain. Behind it, billions of possibilities flicker like particles of light. No fixed shapes, no solid outlines, only probabilities. This is the essence of the quantum universe. All possibilities exist until observed, and the moment you focus your gaze, the shimmering wave collapses into one single reality. In the laboratory, physicists call this the observer effect. A quantum particle never has a fixed state. It can be both wave and particle until the instant it is measured. Only then does it choose a form. Beyond the test tube, this principle reflects a deeper truth. So does your life. The reality you live today is not random. It is not a gift dropped from the sky, nor a chain of coincidences. It is the crystallization of what you continuously observe, believe, and feel. Each time you focus on an image, a thought, an emotion, you are like the scientist in the experiment, collapsing the wave of probability, forcing it into tangible experience. This explains why those who constantly observe scarcity find themselves surrounded by more of it. They see lack, think lack, feel fear, and their emotional lens locks reality into that orbit. Conversely, those who focus on potential, opportunity, or even the tiniest spark of light, even if they have nothing now, gradually watch those possibilities solidify into real outcomes. The universe does not choose for you. You choose through the lens of observation. And that lens is not just your eyes, but the fusion of three elements: focus, belief, and emotion. Focus is the camera's dial. It determines what you look at. Belief is the clarity of the lens, clear or clouded, zoomed, in or out. Emotion is the color you pour into the frame. Together, they shape the reality you live each day. So every time you sink into anxiety, you are unconsciously observing a frightening future, drawing it closer. Every time you dwell on the past, you use the energy of observation to keep it alive in the present. But if you awaken enough to place your focus on what you desire, nurture the belief it can be real, and infuse it with uplifting emotions, you are doing exactly what scientists describe: collapsing the wave of probability, turning potential into reality. Now envision the universe as an immense film archive filled with countless scripts of your life. Every script already exists, from tragedy to masterpiece. But not all are played. Only the scripts you consistently observe are pulled down to the screen and become the movie you are living. The question is, which film are you projecting for? Yourself today. Reality is never random. It is the most honest mirror of what you repeat in your mind and heart. And if you want to watch a different movie, you don't need to change the universe. You only need to change the lens through which you observe. Right now you are sitting inside the cosmic theater. Before you, a familiar movie plays on loop. The same scenes, same dialogue, same ending. You know exactly what comes next because you've seen it thousands of times. And yet, instead of walking out, you stay seated, eyes fixed. And each time you watch, the film flickers back to life once more. This is the invisible script of the past, the most dangerous thing that human beings often fail to recognize. In the quantum world, whatever you observe repeatedly will continue to become reality. The past is not a chain of events that has slipped away. It exists as an energetic imprint etched into your mind. Every negative belief, such as, "I am unlucky," "I am unworthy of love," "I always fail," is nothing more than an old line of dialogue. But if you unconsciously repeat them, they become the lens through which you observe, pulling the entire film of the past into your present moment. The danger lies here. Most of us do not realize we are doing this. In the quantum laboratory, a particle collapses into reality when measured. In daily life, the silent self-talk in your head is that very act of measurement. When you say, "I will never escape poverty," you are unconsciously collapsing the probability wave of struggle into form. When you believe love is not for me, you activate the old film and force yourself to replay the lonely scene. The universe does not punish nor favor. It simply reflects back with perfect honesty what you repeat within your mind. You are like a director who has forgotten your own authority. Instead of writing a new script, you let the assistant of memory drag out old reels to project. The tragedy is that you mistake this for fate. Look to quantum mechanics for clarity. In its unobserved state, a quantum particle exists in multiple possibilities at once, both here and there. But once you measure it, it locks into a position. Your mind functions in exactly the same way. The past is only one of countless possibilities, yet because you keep measuring it, keep retelling the old story, you force it to become the only reality. What does this mean? It means the past script has no power on its own. It lives only through your gaze. If you withdraw that gaze, if you stop observing "I am unhappy, I am a failure, and I am not enough," then that film will fade, dissolve back into the backdrop of infinite other possibilities. And from that ground, a new script can be chosen. Thus, the greatest danger is not what has happened. The greatest danger is allowing the past to continue writing your present. You are not trapped in what once was. You are only trapped in the habit of observing the past. Ask yourself each day, which line of dialogue are you reading silently in your head? Are you unconsciously repeating the old story so often that it becomes destiny? Or are you awake enough to pick up the pen and write an entirely new script for yourself? In the cosmic theater, no one forces you to sit and watch the same movie forever. The choice is always yours. And when you change the lens of observation, you realize the past has no power other than what you give it. An invisible ocean stretches across the universe. In that ocean, there is no past, no future, only the quantum field where all possibilities exist simultaneously. Within it are countless versions of you, a successful you, a wealthy you, a joyful you, a healed you. They already exist as probabilities, waiting for you to tune in and make them real. This may sound like science fiction, but it is the foundation of quantum mechanics. Before being observed, a particle exists in superposition, able to occupy many positions, holding many possibilities at once. When observed, it chooses a state. So it is with your life. You do not start from nothing to create a new reality. You are simply choosing from among frequencies already present in the quantum field. Imagine standing in a room filled with thousands of radio channels. Each channel is a different version of your life. One broadcasts anxiety, another transmits inspiration and success, another sings the melody of fulfilled love. All of them are playing at once, but you can only hear the station you tune to. Your present life is simply the channel you are connected to, and you can turn the dial. This explains why sometimes, with just a small shift in belief or perspective, your entire reality transforms. Because you are not struggling to change the world, you are shifting into a version of the world where what you desire is already true. When you feel worthy of love, you synchronize with the version of you who lives in love. When you believe, abundance flows to you. You tune into the version of you who is already wealthy. The quantum field has no concept of never existed. Everything exists now, but you only experience the version you choose. The future, from the quantum perspective, is not a road you must carve out with effort. It is a map of possibilities already spread infinitely before you. So where does the secret lie? In frequency alignment. Every thought, every emotion, every belief is a vibrating signal. When you emit fear, you lock yourself into a reality full of fearful events. When you radiate gratitude and excitement, you connect with a reality where miracles unfold. The universe does not choose for you, It only mirrors the frequency you are broadcasting. And when you change your frequency, you step into a different film, a different life, a future already existing in the quantum field. Remember, you do not need to conjure a miracle from nothing. You only need to tune into the right channel and fully live the magnificent version of yourself that has been waiting for you all along. You are a musician playing in the cosmic symphony. Every thought is a note, every emotion an instrument. Every cell in your body a string vibrating to its own rhythm. When they align, a pure composition emerges, and the universe, like a vast mirror, resonates and reorganizes your reality to reflect that song. This is coherence. In quantum physics, coherence describes the state when particles, even at great distances, oscillate in perfect resonance. They do not act chaotically, but move as one. So it is with us. When your mind, heart, and body are misaligned, the signal you emit is fragmented, and the quantum field mirrors that same disorder. You might say, "I am happy," but if your heart is heavy with worry, your body tense, your mind doubtful, then the frequency is not happiness, it is dissonance. The quantum field does not listen to words. It does not respond to empty affirmations. What it receives and reflects is the total vibrational frequency of your being, a chord born of the interplay between thought, emotion, and biology. This explains why many people repeat, "I am successful," "I am happy," yet see no change because they are striking a single discordant note, not playing the whole symphony in harmony. So how is coherence created? When you live in true gratitude, love, and joy, your inner rhythm begins to harmonize. Your heart beats more coherently, your brain emits steady alpha and gamma waves, your body releases hormones that balance and heal. You become a synchronized broadcaster, sending out a clear, powerful, and pure signal. And in that moment, the quantum field responds by reorganizing reality to match. Picture tuning a radio. If you turn the dial to the wrong frequency, all you hear is static. But once you align it, music flows in crystal clarity. Your reality is the same. When mind, heart, and body vibrate in gratitude and love, you tune into the channel where prosperity, joy, and opportunity already exist. Coherence is not about forcing yourself to be positive. It is genuine harmony, a state you can nurture through small practices, pausing to breathe deeply, focusing on something you feel grateful for, embracing someone with full presence, or simply offering a sincere smile. These actions do not just change your body chemistry. They change the melody you broadcast to the universe. And here is the miracle. When you maintain coherence, you no longer need to chase the future. Reality comes to you. Opportunities, people, and events align and appear, not by coincidence, but as the universe responding to your song. In simple terms, coherence is the art of becoming a living gateway into the quantum field. When your mind, heart, and body sing the same song, the universe sings back with you. You now stand before an invisible gateway, a doorway to infinite possibilities in the quantum field. Each door opens into a different reality, one where you are successful, one where you are healed, one where you live fully the life you have always dreamed. But here is the secret. That door does not open to pleading. It opens only to the signal you broadcast. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you are. The universe does not operate on the mechanism of hearing wishes and granting them. It functions like a quantum mirror, faithfully reflecting the inner signal you are broadcasting. If you say, "I want to be wealthy," but deep inside you are still vibrating with the fear of lack, then the quantum field can only echo back that very lack. If you whisper, "I want happiness," yet every day you continue to nurture sadness and dissatisfaction, then your reality will orbit that same frequency. The secret of shifting realities lies here. You must become your future self in the present moment. That means not waiting for someday to feel happy, grateful, or confident. You begin to think, feel, and act as if you are already there. When you do, your signal changes, and the quantum field, which does not distinguish between present and future, only between coherence and incoherence, will rearrange reality to match your new signal. Picture yourself as a radio transmitter. If you constantly broadcast the frequency of anxiety, the universe will send back experiences that reinforce anxiety. If you radiate trust and wholeness, you will tune in to realities carrying that exact energy. This is not magic. It is the principle of resonance. Like frequencies attract and amplify one another. Modern neuroscience confirms this. When you change the way you think and feel, your brain creates new neural connections, your body releases new chemicals, and gradually, you become a new person. In other words, you are no longer just imagining your future self. You are actually beginning to live it. And when you live it, you become a clear signal for the quantum field to respond to. So, how do you become the signal? Start with the smallest actions. If your future self is confident, then today sit upright, breathe deeply, and walk with certainty. If that version of you lives in love, begin now with a kind word, a warm gaze, a sincere presence. If you envision yourself living in prosperity, act from gratitude for the abundance you already have, rather than obsessing over what is missing. The more fully you embody this role, the purer your signal becomes. And once that signal stabilizes, reality is no longer something you chase. It will turn itself to align with you. Remember, you are not a beggar before the universe. You are a musician in its grand symphony. When you become the melody you want to hear, the universe will sing it back to you. Every emotion you experience is not just a fleeting psychological state. It is truly a broadcast signal into the quantum field. Like a radio tower, you continuously emit invisible vibrations, and those very vibrations determine the frequency of the reality you connect with. This leads to a profound truth. Change the signal. Change the reality. The reality you live today is not random. It is the exact mirror of the frequencies you have broadcast in the past, through beliefs, habits, and repeated emotions. If you dwell constantly in fear, your frequency matches scenarios filled with anxiety, loss, and limitation. But if you gradually raise your vibration, you begin to shift channels, like turning the dial of a radio to an entirely different station, one that plays the music you want to hear. Every emotion is a rung on a vibrational ladder. When you fall into despair, you are on the lowest floor of the energy tower, where darkness and stagnation prevail. But even a small shift, from despair to neutrality, lifts you several floors higher. From neutrality, you can step into curiosity. What if things could change? What if life is more than this? And from curiosity, it becomes easier to open your heart to gratitude, the most powerful vibration for unlocking new timelines. Interestingly, neuroscience is beginning to explain this mechanism. When you maintain a repeated emotion, the brain records it and strengthens it by creating durable neural pathways. Negative emotions fuel stress hormones, making your body addicted to old scenarios. But when you shift your emotional frequency, for example from anxiety to gratitude, the brain begins forming new connections, releasing new chemicals, and your body shifts into an entirely different biological state. In other words, you are not just changing your mood, you are altering your very biology and energy reality. In quantum physics, this phenomenon resembles the principle of superposition, where countless possibilities coexist in the field. You cannot live in all possibilities at once, but the signal you emit determines which wave you synchronize with. If you vibrate at the level of fear, you are choosing a timeline filled with experiences that mirror fear. But as you climb the ladder of emotions, you step into entirely different timelines, where new opportunities, people, and experiences await. This is the art of tuning your personal broadcast frequency. It does not demand you leap instantly from despair to euphoria. That is rarely possible. Instead, it invites you to patiently climb step by step, from despair to neutrality, from neutrality to curiosity, from curiosity to gratitude. Each step is a quantum shift. Feel this. When you are grateful even for the smallest things, a deep breath, a sunrise, a warm embrace, you are transmitting a signal aligned with abundance, and the universe responds by opening more of it to you. Gratitude is the code of transformation, the frequency that can rotate the axis of timelines faster than any other state. So next time you feel trapped in a dark reality, don't ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Instead ask, "What signal am I sending? Can I raise my vibration by one step?" Because with just one shift in signal, you alter the entire script you are living. Pause for a moment and imagine. The entire universe around you is like an infinite ocean of possibilities. Each possibility exists simultaneously, suspended in the quantum field, waiting for a single condition to emerge from potential into reality. That condition is your observation. In quantum physics, this is called the observer effect. A particle only chooses a state when it is observed. Before that, it exists in superposition, both here and there, both wave and particle. In other words, only when you observe does reality crystallize into a specific form. But here lies a paradox. If you only observe passively, you do nothing but reinforce the old reality. Like an audience sitting in a theater, you simply watch the screen as the same scenes repeat. Habitually observing fear, lack, or limitation keeps the film looping because mere observation sustains the existing script. So, how do you change the film? The secret lies in intention. When you combine observation with intention, you are no longer just watching the screen. You are setting a new signal for how the story will continue. Intention is the spark that turns a potential possibility into a concrete reality. Passive observation keeps you stuck in the old, but observation infused with clear intention, "This is the reality I choose," sends a directive to the quantum field. I am not merely looking, I am choosing. From that moment, the universe begins restructuring around you. Visualize this cinematic image. In front of you stretches a corridor lined with thousands of radiant doors, each leading to a different version of your life. You could stand there forever watching them, and every door would remain closed. They open only when you step forward with intention. I choose this door. The moment you walk through, the entire space behind you reshapes, and a new timeline unfolds. Neuroscience is also revealing this mechanism. Clear intention is not just positive thinking, it alters brain function. When you hold a specific image in mind, the prefrontal cortex, the center of choice and creativity, sends signals through the nervous system while broadcasting a new electromagnetic frequency. Studies show the brain does not strongly distinguish between actually experiencing and deliberately imagining. This means that with intention, you are reprogramming both your biology and your energy field. And here is the miracle. Intention does not need to be grand from the start. It only needs to be simple yet clear. Instead of observing lack and lamenting nothing changes, observe while setting intention. I choose a reality of expansion. I choose to experience abundance. I choose peace. Each time you set an intention, you plant a seed in the quantum field. And like every seed, it must be nurtured with repetition, belief, and aligned emotion. This transforms intention from a fleeting spark into a gravitational force, pulling the timeline you've chosen closer. So next time you catch yourself merely observing and judging the old reality, pause and ask, what am I choosing in this moment? Because every gaze you cast when paired with intention is an act of creation. And from that moment forward, you are no longer just a spectator of the cosmic film, you become its screenwriter, director, and lead actor. Each morning, when you wake up, you're not simply opening your eyes in a familiar room. You are standing at the threshold of countless timelines. Before you lies a cosmic library, where every book represents a different version of your life. One tells the story of you in prosperity, another of you in complete love, another opens into pages filled with creativity and freedom. The question is, which book will you choose to read and to live today? That is the power of a practice so simple, yet capable of reshaping your entire reality. Each morning ask yourself, if I were already my future self, how would I act today? This question is not a game of imagination, it is a quantum switch. Because in quantum mechanics, time is not linear as we often believe. Past, present, and future coexist simultaneously in an invisible field of information. Your future self is not far away in some distant tomorrow. It is present now, vibrating at another frequency, waiting for you to synchronize with it. And the fastest way to connect is to act as if you are already living in that reality. Neuroscience calls this the principle of neuroplasticity. When you eat, speak, walk, and work as if you have already succeeded, the brain begins rewiring its neural networks. It creates new pathways that align with the state you have chosen. The brain does not clearly distinguish between pretending and actually living, as long as the emotional signal is authentic. And that emotion radiates an electromagnetic frequency, one that the quantum field responds to. For example, if your future self is confident, creative, and abundant, then this morning you no longer walk with your old timid posture. You stand tall, breathe deeply, and act as if that truth is already yours. When you eat, you do so with gratitude, knowing you are nourishing the body of a new reality. When you speak, you no longer dwell only on limits or fears. You speak as if you already hold the solution, the vision. And when you work, you do not act from fear, but from creation, as someone stepping fully into a greater role. This is not pretending, it is embodiment. You are inhabiting your own future self, like an actor who doesn't merely read lines, but becomes the character. Each day you step onto the stage of life and choose, will I replay the old script or will I embody the new role? And here is the miracle. When you repeat this practice long enough, you are no longer pretending. New habits, new thoughts, new reflexes become your nature. Your brain, nervous system, and even your energy field align with that future version. And when alignment reaches a certain threshold, the universe has no choice but to place you in the matching reality. So begin with the smallest things. Each morning, before rushing into the day, pause, close your eyes, and ask, if I were already my future self, how would I eat breakfast? How would I speak to my loved ones? How would I walk into the world? How would I approach my work? Each answer is a concrete action, and each action is a step moving you from one timeline into another. This is not theory, it is a daily ritual, a ritual of reality creation. Remember, you do not need to wait for the future in order to live differently. The future already exists, ready to merge into the present the moment you decide. And that decision begins with one question every morning. In the pitch-black ocean, when ships lose their way, they do not need a lighthouse to dive into the water and search for them. They need only the light. A light steady, unwavering, not pleading, not chasing, not begging. A light that simply radiates its signal, and any ship tuned to that frequency will notice it and be guided home. So it is with you. In the quantum world, you are not someone who must chase after opportunities, love, or success. Because all possibilities already exist simultaneously in the quantum field, a vast invisible ocean where countless parallel realities ripple like waves of light. The universe does not respond to begging. It responds to the frequency you broadcast. Imagine every emotion you feel is a wavelength. Fear emits a short, erratic, dissonant signal. Gratitude radiates a soft, stable signal that harmonizes with abundant realities. Joy and love are like beams of white light, reaching miles across the sea, guiding the ships that resonate. This is one of modern physics' most profound revelations. Physicist Max Planck once said, I regard consciousness as fundamental. I regard matter as derivative from consciousness. When you change your inner state, your vibrational frequency, the quantum field instantly reconfigures itself to match. You do not need to swim into the ocean to drag the ships back. You only need to adjust your own light. Neuroscience confirms this. When you focus on positive emotions, your brain produces steady alpha and gamma waves. The electromagnetic field around your heart, measurable with magnetometers, emits signals up to 5,000 times stronger than the brain. This means your heart is the true lighthouse. It constantly sends waves into space, and events, people, and opportunities resonant with those waves begin to move toward you. But to be a lighthouse, you must cultivate one thing: stillness. A lighthouse does not worry. Will any ship see me? What if none comes? It simply shines, and so must you. When you doubt and fear, you dim your light. But when you remain steady in love, creativity, and freedom, you maintain a clear frequency. and that which matches your signal will inevitably arrive. For example, if you want to attract love, you do not need to chase desperately to fill a void. Instead, you live as if love already resides within. You care for yourself, open your heart, radiate peace. The universe will send kindred souls. Or if you seek success, you do not hunt down every opportunity with desperation. You shine through dedication, confidence, and creativity, and the project's doors and synchronicities will open. Remember, in quantum mechanics, everything is waves. The future you dream of is not far away. It is already vibrating around you. The only question is, what signal are you sending? So focus less on seeking and more on becoming. Each day simply return to one question. Today, what light am I radiating? Am I shining through fear or through love, through doubt or through trust? The lighthouse never moves, yet it alters the journeys of ships. And so do you. When you truly radiate from within, the universe cannot ignore you. What belongs to you will find you naturally without chase. In everyday life, we often say, I will begin when the universe gives me a sign, when opportunity arrives, when someone grants me approval, when the door opens, then I will step through. But quantum mechanics tells us a very different truth. You do not wait for the sign, you are the sign. This universe does not run like a pre-written film. It is more like a holographic screen, constantly reshaping itself based on the signals you broadcast. How you vibrate is instantly reflected in your reality. In quantum terms, this is called the collapse of the wave function. Before observation, all possibilities coexist. But when you bring your awareness, you choose one branch out of infinite branches. This is the art of quantum creation. You do not wait for a future branch to come to you. You become the frequency of the branch you desire, and it emerges before your eyes. Picture yourself standing in a room filled with thousands of radios. Each plays a different channel. Wealth, love, illness, joy, fear, creativity, freedom. You cannot listen to them all at once. The reality you experience depends on the frequency you tune into. And when you turn to a new channel, you do not destroy the others. They still exist, simply no longer part of your experience. Here lies the key. When you broadcast a new frequency, the world must reorganize itself to reflect you. Neuroscience shows this clearly. When you consistently focus on a single emotional state, like gratitude, you build durable neural pathways. The brain reprograms your nervous system, changing your behaviors, decisions, and even biological responses. You are no longer the old self, and when you renew yourself within, the external world is forced to rearrange in resonance. Take a simple example. Suppose you wish to become an inspired, creative person. If you sit waiting for a sign from the universe, you may wait forever. But if each day you live as though you already are that creator, waking with curiosity, experimenting, jotting ideas, working with joy, the quantum field begins to resonate. New people appear. Opportunities that seem like coincidences unfold. And the world rearranges itself to mirror you, just as in astronomy. When a star changes the frequency of its light, every planet around it shifts its orbit to adapt. Humans are no different. When you change your energy field, those who no longer resonate will drift away, and those who match your frequency will be drawn in. This is not magic. It is the mathematics of resonance. That is why the core of quantum creation is not about tracking signs, as if you were decoding a secret message. The essence lies in becoming the code itself. When you are the signal, the universe has no choice but to recalibrate and synchronize with you. You do not need to beg reality to change. You only need to become the change. And when you are the change, reality cannot help but transform. Look back and you will see. The past has already scattered like photons that have left their source, irretrievable. Think of the future, and it is nothing more than a probability field not yet collapsed, a sea of possibilities floating in the quantum domain. Only the present moment is where you can touch the switch of reality. Quantum mechanics teaches us that all states exist in superposition, like an electron being here and there at the same time until an observation occurs. The past cannot be altered, The future has not yet been defined. Right here, right now, in the instant of observation and choice, you are the one who collapses the wave function, pulling one potential from the realm of possibility into vivid reality. What does this mean? It means your power does not lie in chasing a distant future, nor in regretting what has passed. Your power lies in the frequency you choose to broadcast in this very moment. Imagine life as a multidimensional film with countless parallel scripts. In each frame there is a version of you, wealthy, creative, lonely, joyful. The future does not arrive at your doorstep. You tune the channel and select the frame right now. By the way you feel, think, and act in this instant, you decide which reel of film lights up on the screen of your life. And here lies the powerful quantum paradox. You are no longer the one pursuing the future. You are the one living from the future. Now, neuroscience supports this. When you envision yourself as your future self, and you attach genuine emotions as though it has already happened, the brain does not distinguish between imagination and reality. It begins generating the same neural circuits, releasing the same chemical signals, as if you were already living in that future. The body becomes living proof of what has not yet occurred, and the quantum field responds by turning it into an event. For instance, if you want your future to be one of creative freedom, you do not need to wait 10 years to start living it. You can breathe, act, and choose today as though you already are that person. In doing so, you broadcast a powerful signal into the quantum field. This is the reality I choose, and the universe, which is nothing more than a holographic mirror, cannot help but reflect it back. From ancient sages to modern thinkers, this truth has been expressed in many languages. Live in the present, for the present is the doorway connecting past and future. But quantum science now gives us a new language to explain it. The present is where all possibilities overlap, where you hold the power to choose a branch of reality rather than waiting for it to arrive. So stop asking, when will my future come? The real question is, am I willing to live as that future self right now? Power is always in the present, because the present is the only reality that exists. There is a hidden truth. You are not merely a receiver of the universe's signals. You are the signal. In quantum mechanics, every particle is also a wave, and a wave means frequency, a constant. Emission. So it is with you. Every thought, every emotion, every decision radiates an energy field, like ripples spreading across the quantum ocean. And what you transmit determines what you receive. Many people remain stuck in waiting. Waiting for a sign, waiting for an opportunity, waiting for a better future. But the quantum field does not operate through waiting. It operates through resonance. When you live as though that future has already arrived, you emit its frequency, and the field has no choice but to respond. Each moment is a crossroads. You choose either to keep broadcasting the old signal, memories, habits, emotions tied to the past, or to synchronize with the future version of yourself that already exists in the probability field. Neuroscience shows this clearly. When you replay a past experience, your brain repeats the same neural networks, and your body reproduces the same emotional chemicals. You are rebroadcasting the past, but if you dare to imagine and feel as though you already are your future self, your body begins to broadcast a new signal. At that point, you are no longer dragging the past into repetition. You are summoning a new reality into being. Picture yourself as a living antenna. If you tune to fear, you only receive signals of fear. But if you synchronize with frequencies of trust, creativity, and love, the entire quantum field reorganizes itself to mirror that exact vibration. The message here is crystal clear. The future is not something you wait for. It is something you are broadcasting right now.